हेलो एवरीवन, वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। आज है 2 फरवरी 2023, दिन है थर्सडे और आज हम करने जा रहे हैं द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस के न्यूज़ एनालिसिस। इस वीडियो के थ्रू कम्प्लीटली द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस के न्यूज़ एनालिसिस होगी। वीडियो पसंद हो तो वीडियो को लाइक करें, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें। हेयर बैलेंसिंग एक्ट उन नॉट टैक्स विल स्पेंड। यूनियन बजट जो कल पेश हो चुकी है तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिया गया है। टैक्स विल किक इन ओनली व्हेन इनकम अबव द 7 lakh a year. Capex reduced in pre-poll year. In her last full budget ahead of the Lok Sabha election next year, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ने kept किया her focus on to keep expect one growth and by setting aside large outlay for the unprecedented surge in the capital spending and two physical consolidation by slashing the subsidies and spending on more जॉब गारंटी स्कीम। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिया गया है। आफ्टर टारगेटिंग रूरल एंड द अर्बन पोर 2024 सिग्नल मिडिल क्लास मैटर। व्हाट द बिग पॉलिटिकल इकोनॉमिक मैसेज फ्रॉम द निर्मला सीतारमन लेटेस्ट बजट? द आंसर इज प्रोबेबली लाइव्स इन द 5 word middle class family matters by the freeing individual with annual income up to 7 lakh from the tax paying and reducing the burden of the 1.5 lakh from the 1,87,500 now for the even those drawing the 15 lakh and the 1.2 lakh month. And Narendra Modi government has the delivered some relief for the class that have long flight ignore। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिया गया है। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे। अडानी हैड ए ग्रो फ्लैगशिप सिंक 28% ग्रुप स्क्रैप इट्स एपीओ। जो रिपोर्ट क्रेडिट इशू ग्रुप है स्टॉप कर रहे हैं एक्सपेक्टिंग अडानी बॉन्ड्स को कोलेक्ट्रल के हिसाब से। तो उसके रिलेटेड अडानी की जो शेयर की प्राइस है 28% गिर चुकी है। उसके साथ ही ग्रुप ने एफपीओ जो 20,000 करोड़ की थी उसको भी स्क्रैप किया है। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे नॉजेट टुवार्ड द एग्जम्पशन टैक्स फ्री रिजिम ब्रिक्स फॉर द सपोर रिच टू विथ स्मार्ट taking the tax slab and rate under the new tax regime, extending the benefit and standard deduction. The government has made a big pitch of the taxpayer to move from the old tax regime OTR and the new tax regime NTR to making the taxation under the new regime nearly evolution of the OTR without the need for any deduction। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे। सूट राइजिंग इन ring out in busy दिल्ली locality to bystander injure। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट पेज पे जो एग्जाम प्रोस्पेक्टिव से इम्पोर्टेंट है, हम उनको देखने की कोशिश करते हैं। बजट है प्रॉमिस टू एंड मैनुअल सर्विंग फॉर द गुड एंड विक्टिम फैमिलीज होप इट टू रिस्टोर ऑन द ग्राउंड। व्हेन द फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर निर्मला सीतारमण अनाउंस कर रहे थे मैकेनिज्म डिसोल्यूशन ऑफ स्टेपिक septic tank on sewer in here the budget speech, 61 years old the Bikari Birbal Kumar could not be helped out to think his son Biswal who did while the cleaning the sewage treatment plant in the DLF Capital Green Society in Delhi Motinagar September 2018। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे। बिग पिक्चर कैपेक्स पुश एंड टैक्स रिफॉर्म। फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर निर्मला सीतारमण ने स्ट्रक किया हिज ग्रोथ स्ट्रैटेजी द हिज फर्स्ट अनबिल इन 2019 स्टे ऑन द पाथ ऑफ फिजिकल प्रोड्यूस एंड इंसेंटिव प्राइवेट सेक्टर टू इन्वेस्ट मोर इन द इकोनॉमी प्रोडक्टिव कैपेसिटी। उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट पेज पे जो एडिटोरियल किया चूजिंग द स्टेबिलिटी ओवर द पॉपुलिज्म द इज प्रोड्यूस गिविंग द लिमिट ऑफ टॉलरेशन ऑफ फिजिकल मार्केट financial market to policy error. As the state footprint the economy has sunk over the past 3 decades, the relevance of the annual union budget for the economy to contradict according the advance of GST goods and service tax which shifted to indirect in taxation decision to GST council and separation of reform from the physical authentic has added to this trend, and nevertheless the presenting of the full budget before the tax general election an important evidence not just for the government also but also for financial market। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे विथ ए क्लियर हेड स्टेइंग ऑन द कोर्स यूनियन बजट हैड नॉट स्टे ऑन पाथ of physical consolidation, it have enhanced the capital spending and providing tax relief to salaried middle class, it will need to the held its own against the electoral cycle. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ने latest budget जो full fledged done before next year general election can be the combined to three counts. First, for staying course of the physical allocation, Finance Ministry have targeted the central physical deficit 2023 to 5.9% of the GDP down to the 6.54% in the current physical and 6.7% in 2021-2023 done this by the announcing the new grandson scheme which have been significant physical implication on the scale of PM Kisan on Manrega. Besides the spending on food, fertilizer and petroleum subsidies will help 1.47 lakh crore lower the compared to revised estimate of 2020-2023. Cinema Sitama budget to lower outlay Manrega 60,000 crore versus for the 89,400 crore while the maintaining it and same level of PM Kisan. There is no increasing for the new indirect income support to, from household under the scheme for the current 6,000 per annum. Thus, saving the expenditure have created the specific bring down to revenue deficit even more appropriately from the 4.1% to 2.9% of GDP. तो उसके related ये पूरा article दिया गया है. Restraint on the revenue promised to be the farmer ignore. Budget does well score of the physical space, but it need to be do more agriculture. Factor that come from the transport agriculture also temp food inflation is how much national spend agriculture R&D budget for the Department of Agriculture Research and Education. There has been provision for the 9,504 crore up to by the 9.5% over the RE of the 8,659 crore financial year 23. This is too much change and cannot be make the agriculture resilient climate change which is already knocking on door. The high-tech boost. Brilliant incentive on the critical emerging technology could be linked to new strategic depth and breed to Indo-US engagement. The talk between Indian National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and his American counterpart Jacob Sullivan in Washington this week have the conclude with the announcement of new roadmap for deeper military and technical economic cooperation between the two countries and implication the speed of produce and bilateral incentive to critical emerging technology ICET could be new land for the new strategic depth and breadth to the extending agreement between the India and United States. The idea was first mooted in the meeting between the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Joe Biden merging the Tokyo summit of the quadrilateral security dialogue quad last May. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिया गया. नेक्स्ट पेज पे द आइडिया पेज द ग्लोबल स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड स्टेडी हैंड बजट है पुल अप टू artful balancing act between the fostering and medium term growth and preventing the near term macro stability. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिया गया. Context of crucial and understanding the content of imperative. This year budget faced and has no appreciate the cross current the global and domestic economic experience. तो उसके रिलेटेड पूरा आर्टिकल है. An uncertain physical math. While budget seem to have kicked out the right box on stability, it lacks the clarity how this will be achieved. It is hopeful to think union budget satisfying the two important objectives, growth and stability, depending on the state of economy and available to physical resource and electoral compensation, and giving budget is either more growth oriented or stability oriented. Which category does the union budget 2023-2024 fall into? तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिए गए. Nothing for poor and farmer. Budget dashes hope the relief from the price rise and unemployment. Being the last full budget of the current BJP government, people had high expectation of the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman dashed the all of the union budget 2023-2024 turned out to be the nothing but is the bank of the deficit is a trueless budget and with no announcement of the benefit of youth, farmer, laborers, women, scheduled tribes and poor. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए. Union budget 2023-2024 the fitch how the cut in spending key scheme helped to rein in physical deficit. Government has been able to take the physical deficit target of the 6.4% of the GDP in revised estimate of the 2023-2024, तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिया गया है। Economy on the right track to grow at the 7% in financial year 2023, Finance Minister. Despite the global slowdown caused by the COVID-19 Russia-Ukraine war, Indian economy expect to grow 7% in fiscal 2022-2023, highest rate of growth among the major economic. Finance Minister Sirma Sitaram Wednesday, he said the country economy is on the right track and heading to the toward the bright future despite all the challenges. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल जाइए। Outlay on subsidized Narega lower as the pandemic disruption cases. The center subsidized outlays the free 3F fertilizer, food and fuel, petroleum is expected to 1.47 lakh crore lower in the coming fiscal compared to 2022-2023, तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिया गया। टैक्सेशन में चलते हैं। Selling for the tax rebate revised for the 7 lakh from the 5 lakh. The fresh pitch for the overhaul in income tax regime with the Switzerland deal. Tax burden under the new scheme has been the nationalized by the revising slab and introducing the benefit of standard education. Next articles पे remittance high, low tax payment, government hike TCS rate. To track high value spending and tax avoids by the high net worth individual, the government Wednesday announced a sharp hike in the tax collect source TCS rate and 20% from the 5% on the over storage package on certain limitation out in India under the liberalization of remittance scheme. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे। डिपॉजिट लिमिट फॉर द सीनियर सिटीजन स्कीम हाइक, न्यू सेविंग स्कीम फॉर वुमेन। यूनियन बजट प्रॉमिस कर रहा है मोर इंसेंटिव टू सीनियर सिटीजन वुमेन टू सेव मोर मनी at the better interest rate. Nirmala Sitharaman announced a new saving scheme for women and hiked the limit of senior city scheme and monthly investment scheme. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिया गया। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे। इंफ्रा पे increasing in the area linked to railway and highway, renew the trust on capex outlay hike to the 33% on the 10 lakh crore. To add investment in infrastructure and center continue to 50 years interest rate loan for the state government for additional 12 months. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिए गए। पुश फॉर द हाईवे सेक्टर NHI allocation up. In keeping with infrastructure push, the government have increasing outlay for the highway sector 2.7 lakh crore up to allocation of National Highway Authority of India has been increasing 1.6 lakh crore 2023-2024 from the last year revised allocation of the 1.4 lakh crore. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। 108 हाईएस्ट एवर एलोकेशन, रेलवे प्लान्स मोर लाइन्स, वंदे भारत फैक्ट्रीज। रूरल में चलते हैं। हाई रूरल हाउसिंग आउटले टू स्पोर एसेट क्रिएशन, 72% of 172% more as the compared to budget estimate of the 2022-2023 Jal Jeevan Mission get the 70,000 crore. In big push of rural infrastructure, government have allocated the 54,487 crore. It's the flagship rural housing scheme Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin 2023-2024, higher ever the allocation since the inspection of scheme of 2016. Besides the allocation of the 70,000 crore to have been made for the Jal Jeevan Mission scheme aimed to the providing tap water continues to rural household. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। As number of beneficiary dip, PM Kisan allocation lowest in 5 years to 60,000 crore. Commencement of allocated budget of the 60,000 crore Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman for the financial year 2023-2024 which is lowest in 5 years. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। Demand is still high, but the Narega kitty screen to pre-COVID level. Government has sharply cut the budgetary allocation of the Rural Job Guarantee Scheme, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, 21.66% from the financial year 2022-2023. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट पेज पे जो मार्केट की है। ODI to be allocated to IFSC gift city to tax scope for the particularity not to lower fund in to India equity. Currently tax exemption only the transport to ODI, not on the distribution of income on non-resident of ODI holders. तो तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिया है। सेंसेक्स सी ऑफ up 2% and flat. The benchmark Sensex of Bombay Stock Exchange swelling the 1957.1 Wednesday, hitting the intraday height of 2% of the 60,773 during the day before the falling day low to the 58,816. It closed at the 59,708 with the marginal gain of the 2.07. Borderly Nifty, however, the close of the 70,616 witnessing fell of the 2.26%. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। Boost for the MSME, more unit to benefit from the 50% hike in turnover limit to the 3 crore. Presumptive taxation limit micro, small and medium enterprises has been the rise to the 3 crore, provided there the total cash received are not more than the 5% of total received. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced in the Union Budget 2023-2024। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट पेज पे। Strong mandate has brought stability in made India attractive. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the new tax regime will be default system, but no compulsory. That the government interest is gradually attract people to new regime. Expert from the poor budget interview with DG News। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। 44% hike in the outlay of the procurement full ammo spare overall defense budget up to 30%. जो of 5.94 lakh crore mark of the defense sector, 90,000 crore goes to the revenue procurement। तो उसके रिलेटेड पूरा आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट पेज पे। फोकस ऑन बीजेपी सपोर्ट बेस ऑफ द मिडिल क्लास यूथ वुमेन। निर्मला सीतारमन फिफ्थ बजट विल बीइंग briefly popularizing increasing giveaway for the some section, especially for the middle class and youth, and there are also clear focus on the driving the job creation sector such as housing and construction। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। Opposition ने कहा है कि nothing for the poor middle class, benefit only to one class. Congress and several opposition parties Wednesday plan to budget and agreeing that it has been no relief for poor, not offer much for the electorally key middle class, bringing and India USA agreed to develop tech and defense ties. It what is being perceived as the new frontier cooperation with the eye of China. India USA have developed defense cooperation, defense, artificial intelligence, quantum technology, higher performance of computing, co-production of jet engineering, semiconductor supply chains, and human space flight and commercial space launch, telecom including 6G। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये पूरा आर्टिकल दिए गए। Saha welcome unprecedented decision for the cooperative sector for the rising outlay of Ministry of Cooperation and Tax Relief cooperatives to set up massive decentralized storage capacity. These are the among key announcement of the cooperative sector made by the Union Budget 2022-2024। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। RS 990 crore for allocate for the G20 presidency. Government have allocated the 990 crore towards the G20 presidency. Even the Ministry of External Affairs budget for the financial year 2023-2024 is the increasing marginal। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। 6% hike in allocation to Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs have been allocated to excess of the 1.96 lakh crore in the Union Budget 2022-2024. This figure around to 6% higher than the allocation of the 1.85 lakh crore in 2022-2023 budget। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। Budget boost for the behind scheme, 600 crore set aside for the Pradhan Mantri revamp of the 1,100 crore estimate to Ministry of the Information and Broadcasting. 600 crore have been aside to certainly announcement broadcasting infrastructure and network development being scheme has been to a totally outlay over the 2,500 crore। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए है। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल से हाउ मोहल्ला क्लासेस ऑनलाइन सेशन हेल्प टू स्टूडेंट टू टाइड ओवर द स्कूल शटडाउन इन 2022। The COVID-19 pandemic have pushed country into the lockdown and triggered the unprecedented situation. School shut down without the notice and children found themselves home as the learning crisis Sluming the Rajput district administrator at swipe up to the launching Pradhan Mantri Dhar stood at the doorstep in incentive was that later the replied by the across the state तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे। सुप्रीम कोर्ट आस्क्स व्हाट्सएप टू पब्लिश अंडरटेकिंग टू गवर्नमेंट। सुप्रीम कोर्ट वेडनेसडे में आस्क किया गया है व्हाट्सएप को गिविंग द वाइड publicly undertaking to the center that it will not be limit functionality of the app for user of India who do not agree to revise the privacy policy until the government frame to up to data protection law and interim direction 5 judge constitution bench asked to the app to do through full-fledged investment advisement of 5 national delays and 2 occasion. The ads will be stated that the app said to the undertaking given to center by the letter of date May 2022-2021 तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट पेज पे। 157 न्यू नर्सिंग कॉलेज ऑन द कार्ड ड्राइव ऑन द एंड स्टिक ऑफ सेल एमिनिया बाय 2047 सेंटर मार्जिनल इंक्रीजिंग हेल्थ आउटलेट टू 86,200 crore to 89,155 crore but lower allocation capitalization spent तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। अर्बन इंफ्रा बूस्ट फॉर द टीयर 2 टीयर 3 सिटीज 10,000 crore पर ईयर तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए। एजुकेशन आउटले हाइक 8% पीएम पोषण गेट 30% मोर द सेंटर हैज एलोकेशन द 1.13 lakh crore for education sector or in the union budget 2022-2024 rising the projection expenditure on the school and higher education around the 8.3% compared to 2022-2023 when the institution learning gradually come out to the slow rate caused by the COVID-19 तो उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। ट्राइबल वेलफेयर गेट द 4,000 crore more but not much for women in inclusive development of top among the 7 separatists and priorities in Modi administration for the next 25 years. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman Wednesday said the center focus will be particularly be on the youth and women, farmer, OBC and Divyangya, economic weaker section and unprivileged and the ST/SC communities तो उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। Climate action central to budget again. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has made green push for the central budget 2023-2024, killing the green growth on the 7 goals. This first budget of the Amrit Kal Finance Minister carried out to forward the last year's focus on energy transition and climate action, keeping it front and central of this budget as well the participate significance in the India G20 presidency and keep in the line India's position a global leader in climate action instead leadership of position representative of development wide of various international negotiation including the conference of parties तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे जो वर्ल्ड की है। 500,000 join walkout in the Britain seeking the better salary, largest industrial strike in generation तो उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिए। सिविल सर्वेंट टू डॉक्टर टीचर टू ट्रेन ड्राइवर ऑन द रोड ब्रिंग यूके टू halt. Up to half of the million of British teachers, civil servant and train driver and university lecturer walk out over the pay and condition of Wednesday in the largest conditional strike action the Britain in the generation and causing a widespread dispersion तो उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। 2 years after coup, Myanmar extend the emergency rule for the 6 month expected to pull delay and protester held silent strike against the Jantra rule। म्यांमार में 2 साल हो चुके हैं वहाँ पे मिलिट्री कूप की तो उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। पाक अरेस्ट 17 सस्पेक्ट ओवर द कनेक्शन विद द मॉस्क्यू सुसाइड ब्लास्ट। जो पाकिस्तान के सिक्योरिटी एजेंट्स ने 17 सस्पेक्ट को कनेक्शन किया गया सुसाइड ब्लास्ट जो हाई सिक्योरिटी जॉन मॉस्क्यू पेशावर में किल किया गया। 101 पीपल इंक्लूडिंग 79 पुलिसमैन आज द आर्मी चीफ जनरल आसिम मंडरी वोट द जीरो टॉलरेंस फॉर द टेरर ग्रुप एंड डायरेक्ट हिज जनरल टू एलिमिनेट द थ्रेट ऑफ मिलिट्रेसी तो उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। कनाडा प्रोविंस डिक्रिमिनलाइज द ड्रग टू फ्लाइट ओवरडोज क्राइसिस। Western Canadian province, British Columbia, on the Tuesday began to 3-year pilot program to stop considering the people carrying small amount of heroin, meth, and caustic operatic cocaine as part of the effort to fight drug overdose crisis। तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए। USA readies $2 billion weapon aid package for the Ukraine. France add 2 more Haujitars package including air defense system, preceding guiding munition, anti-tank weapons. तो उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिया। यूनाइटेड स्टेट ने रेडिंग के लिए मोर देन द 2 बिलियन वर्थ ऑफ मिलिट्री एंड एड फॉर द यूक्रेन दैट इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू इंक्लूडिंग longer range rocket for the first time as well the over mutation and weapon to our US official brief on the matter told to Reuters on Tuesday। तो उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। फ्रेम गिव टू 1.4 बिलियन इन द प्री पेमेंट्स फॉर द कैंसलेशन जॉब फॉर पोर global demand for COVID-19 vaccine drifts and programs. The response to the vaccine as the world poor has been urgently negotiation to try to get out the deals with pharmaceutical companies to for the short it no longer needs। तो उसके ऊपर ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। अब चलते हैं नेक्स्ट पेज पे। नेक्स्ट पेज पर और कुछ नहीं है। तो आज के द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस न्यूज़ एनालिसिस पे इतनी। थैंक यू, जय हिंद। वीडियो पसंद हो तो वीडियो को लाइक करें, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें।